Oh, that's Uncle Marvin. Oh, very nice. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Deborah Kobylt Live. We have a terrific show for you today. In studio is someone who's quickly becoming a friend of mine. We've got Karla Gordy Bristol. Thanks for being here.
I'm happy
I got it right.
Yes.
All right, girl.
Yes.
You are, among other things, I mean, look, this bio is so long. I don't even know where to begin.
I gave you the full. I let you have the full so you can get a full picture.
But what an incredibly esteemed life that you've led. But right now, currently what you do is you're CEO of Bristol Entertainment and host of Beverly Hills View, which is on Beverly Hills Television. You're a host and producer of a weekly Facebook Live talk show. There's too many words. Karla Dawn Live, among so many other things that you do. I mean, you host all kinds of red carpet events. Right. But you've led quite an interesting life. We're going to get into all the work that you do, including your foundation work. But you're also of the Motown family, which I love Motown. I grew up with Motown. I studied Motown. My husband really loves Motown. He was giving me a big education in it last night.
Oh, nice.
So how are you related to the whole Motown family? Why don't you tell me?
Oh, wow. Well, I guess we started, the founder, my Uncle Barry Gordy, is my grandfather's young brother. My grandfather was the oldest of 8, Fuller Gordy. And Barry is his younger brother, so that's how we're family.
8 kids, right? So
there were 8 children, Fuller being the oldest, and Uncle Barry is second to the youngest. Yeah.
So growing up, I know you were born in Detroit, but you ended up coming out here, living in Beverly Hills, and you were 6 years old?
I was about 5, 5.5, yeah. Yeah.
So
because of Motown, we had to, we had to come because Motown moved out here. So
the whole family just picked up and went.
Not the whole family, but a good amount. My mother worked for Motown, so my uncle asked her to come join the company, and that's why we came. Iris Gordy, yes.
And what did your mom do for Motown?
Oh God! Every time I say different things, she did so much. She was an executive producer. She was a vice president of one of the divisions there. She was quality control when she started, which is definitely her DNA. She's a quality control person to this day. So I was raised by someone who's very, specific in how things are to be done. And she changed the careers of a lot of those artists out there and launched the careers of many. I
mean, it's incredible the vision that your great uncle had, because he sort of brought Motown-style music to the mainstream. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, who knows? I mean, some of his huge acts, he founded a lot of them, didn't he?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Without him, those careers would not have flourished the way they did. I mean, you're talking teenagers back in the day. A lot of them went to Cass Tech High and another school, and so the Supremes were just, teenagers in school. Smokey Robinson was very young. And, they had the Four Tops, Temptations, they all came along later.
God.
But
And I can't imagine your dinner table. I mean, so these people would just come, and this was the norm for you, right? These people would just sort of walk in and walk out in your life, and this was just what you did. I get it.
I was the baby in the room, like now, think of what you're doing if you have someone with a little kid around, and I grew up around them, so everybody became almost like aunt and uncle. So it's Uncle Smokey.
Did you know at any time, though, that this was special? These were enormously talented people that you were
not
around?
growing up.
No.
Not growing up.
Because a little bit. Because I remember growing up where I did in New Jersey, and I would think, I need to get out of this, because I never quite felt like I belonged there. I was able to see that I felt a little different than them, But I guess as a little kid, again, just the norm, huh?
It's the norm, yeah. I mean, you hear music all the time. I remember going away to college, and I couldn't sleep without music playing.
I get that.
I always had music playing around me. So music is just totally in my DNA, because I'm sure when I was in my mom's belly, she was in the studio or around it. So she was the young niece when he was creating this company that was giving her little 2 cents. I think this, you should do that.
He was brilliant, though. He knew how to sell music. I mean, I was reading last night that he said, I want everyone to look clean and nice, and he put like the Temptations
artist
in a little
development
suit.
was very important, and my aunt Anna, his sister, actually came up with that.
Really?
Yeah, Gwen Gordy Fuqua. She came up with that, and I remember we moved here. First thing she did, we moved into her house in Beverly Hills, that massive house that became like the hangout for all the Motown artists north of Sunset.
Oh,
but she
where?
put me
Where was
straight
it?
into etiquette class.
She did?
Oh, yes.
Why?
I remember.
We were like this
I'm
little
just
terror?
right. No, it's just she wanted to make sure, you know, you had class and style and poise, and that's what she was about. Her sisters were like that. Anna Gaye, who went on to marry Marvin Gaye. Esther Gordy Edwards founded the Motown Museum in Detroit, which is still flourishing today under a $50 million renovation project. So these are powerful women, these Gordy women, my aunties, and Barry was younger. So he looked up to them, and he had these role models older than him. And he was very much a go-getter. And he had a lot of ideas. He tried many, many things before he succeeded in Motown.
Yeah, he did. He had different labels.
It's a great story right there of perseverance and just going after, you know, idea after idea after idea after idea, and don't give up. If that doesn't work, have a positive attitude and try something else until something clicks and works. And this idea of creating Motown, watching automobiles go through the factory and come out, you know, little parts and come out as this beautiful car, he thought, I could do that with music. You know?
That's brilliant. Yeah. People don't realize Motown is named
Motor
after
City,
the Motor City.
The Motor City, yeah.
You know, wow.
Yeah.
So
a
Diana
genius.
Ross, sure you met her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, she, to me, I just look at her and think, oh my God, diva, amazing, talent.
Very much so. So talented to this day.
Yeah, she's
I
huge.
just saw her recently in Vegas. She's just on top of it. She just had a new release recently. She has 5 children. Wait, let me get it right now. And one of them is my cousin by, you know, blood cousin, but they're all family to me. Rhonda Ross.
Oh,
Her
wow.
Uncle Barry and Diana Ross had a child together.
What was it like on holidays? Did everybody gather at the family place?
We'd have big gatherings, either at my Aunt Gwen's house in Beverly Hills I mentioned, or at Uncle Barry's. You'd see any and everybody in the industry. Sidney Poitier was always around. Hugh Hefner was around. Dick Clark.
I had a crush on Sidney Poitier when I was a little kid. I loved
he's
that
still
movie.
very
What's that?
regal.
He really
Serve
is.
with
To Serve with Love.
Love.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
that was a beautiful film. I was just incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, to this day when I see him
know,
out and
right?
about, because he's
an
around.
amazing person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Every time I
he's
see him,
incredible.
he's so nice and has a colorful career. But yeah, it was. You know,
You were a dancer, right? And you danced on American Bandstand.
I did. I was a regular in American Bandstand.
What a cool job. Do we have
loved
any
it.
pictures of that? Did you
That
send
would
it?
be fun. I
That
didn't
would be
send a
cool.
video.
Were you in like
of
one of
it.
those boxes? Like
I've got some VHS tapes of me on American Bandstand.
Oh man, you got to send that to me.
And remember the Spotlight Dance? There's a Spotlight Dance where they would go and select, you know, 2 dancers that they would watch dancing. Okay, come over here. And they'd pick maybe 3 groups, and you'd get to go on like the little podium and
Did
highlight
they
it.
know? Did they tell you like, look, you're going to be picked?
No, you would just
No?
come, do your regular dancing, and they would come and tap you and say, okay, you're going to do the Spotlight Dance today. So you got to go and show it.
Oh man,
You know, you got
so cool.
And I got picked like maybe 5 times, so I was just excited. Every time you get picked, you feel like, oh my God, I'm good. I'm it. I'm it today, yeah. So it was fun, but yeah, I was a regular. I would take different people to go and, you know, be my male counterpart and have lots of fun.
I would have gone wild if that were me. I love to dance. I would have been in that box. It would have been like, okay, pan right, get off of her, because that would a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
You were in Lionel Richie's.
I was. My first music video that I danced in was All Night Long.
You have lived the
All
life
night
that
long,
I want to
Lionel
live.
Richie.
That is so exciting.
And I auditioned to be in that. People always think because
I know.
I was at Motown.
Nepotism, yeah, I get
and
it.
I was working there at the time actually. And my grandfather Fuller Gordy was the vice president of corporate affairs, so I worked under his department. And no, I would just ask him, hey, if I get an audition, I'm a dancer. You know, I might get auditions. Can I go? And I would just submit myself and go audition. And I got it. I was so excited.
I mean, that is sort of something that people don't realize. They might think, oh, she's from this family, of course. But, man, you got to prove yourself, too. And you're waiting in line with everybody else.
Right.
I mean, I've seen it happen time and time again. Just maybe a door might open a crack for you. But if you don't have it, you're gone.
Right.
You know?
And a lot of times you don't, but, because our family is very, very tough. It's very tough
I believe
love.
that.
And many things. I mean, now I want to be on a major network TV show. I'm a TV show host, and some people can make phone calls and make it happen, but they do certain things because you have to show yourself too, you know? You have to prove yourself. And why just open every single door and make it totally easy? How bad do you want it?
So all the hosting that you've done, I mean, talk to me a little bit about that, because you were saying you want to be a network TV host.
Right.
And you're right, it doesn't just come like that. Entertainment Tonight. Well, they might call you after
They
this,
should
of
see
course.
me. I mean,
after
I'm ready.
this, it's very likely.
I am very ready.
So there you go. But what are you doing to reach that goal?
Well, I started I started on the red carpet in 2009. You know, just put myself out there. I've wanted to be on TV since I was like 19. That was just my
what did
dream.
you do on red? I love doing the red carpet.
I started, I think it was the Diversity Awards, and someone gave me an opportunity and said, "Hey, you said you wanted to do it. Let's see what you got." I was like, "Sure," and I went. And a lot of people said great things. I interviewed some of the biggest names in the industry, and then from there just spiraled. And I just put my word out there that I'm doing this now. I can handle interviewing on the carpet. And I was just getting calls. And when people would see me at something, they would say, "Oh, we have another event." And it just kind of spiraled. And that was great just to understand the interviewing process and experience it. But ultimately, I knew I wanted to be in front of the camera on TV hosting.
You got to be loud when you're doing the red carpet events.
Oh,
right?
my
You have
goodness.
got to really, and I can project, believe me. Just ask my kids.
You have
I can be
to.
very loud. And I would just be like, "Hey, CNN," and they would hear that and
can't
they go,
be passive.
"Oh, no, you cannot.
cannot
You
be
are
passive
fighting
on the carpet."
You may be friends with the guy and girl next to you, but it's like, you know, you really
well,
gotta be
everybody's trying to get that
Yeah.
interview. And then the celebrity coming down, you know, they get exhausted. Depends on where your position is. on the
They never know
carpet.
where to look. They're like, "Oh my God." And I feel
Right.
badly for them actually sometimes, but too bad.
Well, and now I'm that person coming down the carpet, and I totally relate. So I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now that's more nerve wracking.
And I'm on the other end.
side.
But I feel for them, and I'm so, you know, understanding of the photographers and the host that's there, and I know what they're trying to get. And sometimes I find myself kind of directing what they're doing to make sure they get it right because they're early in it. But you know,
Well, you know what they say, you've got to pick your pose.
yes,
That's really
You
hard.
gotta get it.
Because
Gotta
sometimes
get it
if I
right.
am on that side, I'm thinking, I don't have a pose. So I'm thinking they better get the right side of me or else.
You got to know your spots. Get in front of the mirror and practice.
I
Know
know.
that pose. So when you get there, you go right to it.
Yeah.
You know.
See, look, you've got that going.
gotta get it, you know,
You've got
yeah.
that thing. You know, I'm just like, are they done? So,
And then you have to go to the ease to the next one and do it. But it's fun. So from there, I started getting opportunities to MC events, and that was really exciting, and did that.
we have a little reel. I think it's like your promo reel. Do you want to show that, or do you want to show you on your show? Which one?
Whatever you got, it's all good.
Let's show her promo reel. Are you queued up?
Oh, jeez.
I know. Just
I'm your
funny.
host, Karla Gordy Bristol.
We could say that's my old one.
Clay's parents here at the wonderful premiere of their son's Clay's awesome movie. How do you feel tonight? It's so exciting.
3 years coming and so overwhelmed, don't know what to say or do.
How do you feel? This is an exciting night for you. This is a big premiere night for your film. Hi, this is Karla Gordy Bristol, and I am at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills, California. This is an exciting night in Beverly Hills, and this is the grand opening gala of the Wallace Annenberg. We have Lou Moore, the executive director, coming, the mayor of Beverly Hills, John Murish, the vice mayor, Lily
good.
Bossi, and many, many other sponsors and donors of the Annenberg.
See, now it's a little more long form, actually. It starts really, really fast. And then
That's one of my old host reels as
Yeah.
a red carpet interviewer. So
I know my
it's
reel
fun to
is
look
so
back
my
at
reel
it.
is so old I don't even look the same anymore. So that's okay.
I'm working on the TV now. So now that I've done a lot of television for 2 years, I'm doing that.
What's
one.
your favorite thing to do? So I love telling people stories. I actually like to work with the athletes. I love
Yeah.
talking to athletes because I think people believe that maybe you just have to be talented and that's it. But there's so much more that goes to it, and there's so many ups and downs.
I used to be
What do you-
married to an athlete.
Who?
He was with the Harlem Globetrotters, Tyrone Brown. Called him
Oh.
Hollywood because he, dated me and he came all the way to Hollywood, as the guys would tease him. But for 11 years he's with them. So I traveled the world.
Oh,
with the
that is
Harlem
really
Globetrotters.
fun.
It was a different experience.
I
I was
loved
in my
the
early
Harlem
20s, and I'm flying
Really?
all over to Italy and France and Paris and Germany. It was nice
With this group of athletes.
with a bunch of guys, right?
Oh, that would be
With
really
a-
difficult
with
to
a,
do.
with a bus full of tall men.
I'm sure you enjoyed that. And I doubt you were the only woman there, too. I'm guessing.
I was the most regular female on the road, but there were others that, yes, I have stories.
You can shoot one over here if
I've
you
got
want.
some stories. I'm going to have to write about it. Way before the basketball wife show came about, I had an idea.
What is it called? Wags? That wife or
yeah,
something?
that's another one. I had all before that reality came about. I definitely had thought of some
I'm not
ideas
too fond of that show. It's like they make these women look ridiculous, don't you think?
You know, if they want to do it, it's their life to share and put out there. So,
well, I don't know. It's so programmed, those reality shows.
I've actually
don't
been
you
on
think?
a few. I taped a reality pilot as a star,
What
and
was
then I
it?
was on to the group Girl. There was a group my daughter was in called Girl, and the We Channel wanted to do a reality show on them. So I think our drama got to the highest level, and I don't even want to get into the details, but it got pretty intense. But before that, I was on Sinbad, the comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He had a show with his family, and go way back with them. And as the friend of his wife, she had me come on a few episodes, so it was fun. And it was
How
an
do you
experience.
pick when you're born into the family that you're born into, a musical family and a business family?
Yeah.
And you want to be an entertainer and interview people.
Right.
How do you even pick a lane? It's hard to pick a lane. You don't need to pick a lane.
You just, as far as who to start with, you mean? Like
And
how-
what do you do? You know, you've been a dancer. You've done so many things, but I
Right.
guess that's entertainment.
It is
right?
all entertainment, yeah, because I performed. I did videos, I did shows. I was a choreographer. I choreographed Smokey Robinson's One Heartbeat and was the lead dancer in that. So I went into that. I did shows in Jamaica. So, yeah, it's all performing. And I watched and I helped develop some Motown artists as a choreographer. And I would work with them for their stage presence. A group called High Energy. Back in the day, I used to work with that group. So yeah, it's all about performing. And then when you want to be in front of a camera, again, you don't look at it as a performance. You're being yourself, but to a degree, you're entertaining the audience. You want that interview to be entertaining. So when I do my talk show at Beverly Hills View and the one on Facebook, Karla Dawn Live, yeah, I want to do something that inspires, educates, motivates my audience. And that's entertaining. You know, you want people to leave feeling good and happy with them.
Ever think of doing a show on Motown and every week sort of picking someone who's gone through Motown, whether on the front end or the back end? I would find that interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about doing just a show solely on Motown, but I have interviewed Motown artists and talked about their journey and that story behind the music and behind the songs. How did they come to be? You know, you're enjoying this music. I talked to Smokey Robinson. I had him on my Beverly Hills View show and found out he started writing at 6 years old. And he did plays in school and he performed, and just how that came to happen. And he had a laundry list of songs by the time he was like 13, you know.
Don't
Who
you
does
find that when you look at what someone was really interested in as a little kid,
is what they do later
yes,
in life.
And if
I
I have 3 kids, they're extremely different, and each one of them is following their passion at the moment in school.
Right.
But I think, gosh, that doesn't surprise me because as a little kid, one was kind of doing productions in the living room, and the second one was always going to a museum somewhere, and the other one had a baseball in his hand.
I totally believe that's
true,
what they're going to want to do later
right?
in life. Yes.
And I know as a little kid, I never stopped talking. I was always asking questions. My mom said, my first word was why. And I'm like,
I
you
get
too?
that. Yes.
I'd be like, why? And she'd be like, oh, Deborah, I don't have an answer why.
Yeah.
So
I think
most
most children are
crazy.
Most children are inquisitive, and they do that because I think mine. But some stop and move on. I think you, like me, we kept with it.
Why? I need to know.
Everything.
It's like, what do you mean? That's
Yeah.
it. It's like, wait a minute, that's not enough for me. It's like, oh,
So
thank
that
God.
was the sign we were going to go into this field
Yeah.
of microphone.
Yeah,
we needed a microphone. We
pen
needed
and
that.
paper, whatever.
Yeah,
Just something,
get it
stone
out there.
tablet. I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell a story.
I love to communicate. I love to interact with people. I like to make a difference in the lives of people that I come in contact with each day. You know, you want to make a difference.
I'm going to guess that's because when people were walking through your home and, you saw your mom work, these people all had interesting lives, I mean, did you look at them and say, how did they get there? I mean, was there anyone in particular, let's say, who really made an impression on you when they were at the house?
Well, of course, Michael Jackson. I mean,
Okay,
cough
it up. Tell me a little bit about him.
Who wouldn't be impressed
I was
with Michael?
devastated, as I'm sure you were, times 10.
Oh.
I was so upset when that happened.
Oh, yes.
How
I know exactly where I was. It's one of those things I'll never
I do
forget.
too, but where were you?
But I was at Century City Mall, the Century City Mall, and
You probably heard the
right
helicopters.
by Bloomingdale's.
Probably heard them because I heard them.
We
don't live far
I was
from
right
there.
by, which is
Carrollwood.
by UCLA. Yeah, it's not far
Carrollwood.
from UCLA where the hospital is. He went to, and it was very tragic. And I broke out crying. I mean, I knew him personally, so it's a different type of feeling emotionally. But just to be such an icon and so important in the lives of so many people
He had it tough too, and people just want to drag people down.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I never knew him. I never even did I meet him? I don't even think I met him. But
sweetheart of a guy. Wanted to have fun.
You know what?
A prankster.
You know what? I was playing on the way here. Bad. Okay.
Oh, were
please don't
you?
I'm just cranking it up on the highway, and I'm like, oh, this is so pathetic. Isn't that
Have fun with it. Why
I know,
not?
but when he passed away, I thought, oh my gosh. There's so much more music that I know was in him.
Yes.
And we'll never get to know what it is.
Right,
because he really
he's a genius, musical genius.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Very talented dancer, very creative. He was so far ahead. But, so watching him, and I'd be around with him since, I was young. He was a little older than me. But we'd be in the recording studio, and I would be there for the sessions.
Did you ever do backup? You said you were there for the sessions. What was that like?
Did I do backup?
Like singing?
I did sing, but not with the Jacksons.
No,
I was too young
just
then,
like
but I did
thing,
later go on to sing as I was a background singer.
Yeah.
I did with a group called Boys Next Door. So I did actually give you a shot of that.
We have
There's a group I was in called the Boys Next Door, and
is that the black and white?
It's a black and white shot. We performed at the Troubadour on Sunset at Gazzari's. I think we're there with the owner of the Gazzari's at the time, and we did a lot of clubs around town. Jermaine Jackson was following the group and very interested in signing them with at the time he's married to my cousin Hazel. So
oh my gosh,
Hazel
how do you even
Gordy.
keep track of these people? There's so many
It's just
cousins and family.
because it's like your family. Do you remember who your family members
Yes,
are?
but I have to tell you something funny because we're from New Jersey, a
Okay.
big Italian family, and when we bring my kids back there, and all the family just kind of comes out from one side and the other side.
Oh, it's
every time they're
overwhelming.
like,
Who is
how do you know their names? How do you remember them?
Right.
Because they didn't grow up with hardly any cousins out here.
Yeah.
And they're overwhelmed. And they're just one, and then another comes in the house, and they're
We
thinking,
have a big family, so you can relate. I have a big
I
family.
really relate. It's hard for me because they're not here. We were in and out of each other's homes all the time. And I mean, like, literally in and out of each other's homes.
I have a lot of family in Georgia, which is where
you
we're
do?
from. Yeah, Gordy. We have a Gordy Church, Gordy Grove Church. So Barry Gordy Sr., my Uncle Barry's dad, my grandpa's dad, started in Georgia.
Okay.
He was born in Georgia.
I read on Barry Gordy's Wikipedia that he is somehow related. Is this true or not
Jimmy
true?
Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Absolutely.
Tell that
That's
story,
our cousin.
please. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter's mother's maiden name is Gordy. Yeah, so Jimmy Carter is our cousin through blood. Yeah, isn't that fun?
But
I didn't get to go hang out in the White House with him when he was president, though.
No.
But I didn't know then. I found out later.
How did
we
that
were
happen,
there was
though?
a dinner. It's so funny. How did it happen that we found out?
No, that you're related.
Because of his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've got white in me. So that part of our family in Georgia, our great grandfather, I think it was a white slave owner, and he got with a black woman and had some kids and went from there. That's how people get related. You have kids.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
So-
But I mean, he was a slave owner. So,
Yeah,
but from
'Cause
that,
he's from Georgia.
and from Georgia. That's
He's
why when
from
you
Georgia.
said that,
We're
I
from
thought, wait a
Georgia.
minute, Jimmy Carter.
That's how it is. We're all from Georgia.
You're somehow related to Amy. So I mean, you guys are sort of like cousins.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? And he acknowledges it. He's okay with that. He said it. I remember my mom was at a dinner one time, and one of my uncles jumped up to give him a hug, and the Secret Service, oh, what are you doing? He's like,
Don't worry about it. He's my cousin.
And exactly what Jimmy Carter said. That's my kinfolk. It's all good.
Oh, I love
The
that.
Secret Service like, your kinfolk. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, believe it or not. Just
And
move
he
on.
said it like, it's good. He can come up.
Oh,
and-
that's cool. Really?
yeah, he's really,
Oh,
really
I like
nice guy.
that.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So give me a little more dirt. You got anything good that you could tell us?
you
Even
like
good dirt.
dirt.
Just dirt.
Good dirt.
Good dirt.
Golly. Well,
Something
it's not really
somebody
dirt.
might not know. Like, I didn't live in your house. I'd love
Yeah.
to know just something.
Well, it's not really dirt. I mean, if people really follow Motown, but, back in the day, the Motown writers and producers, a lot of them married Barry sisters. And my mom, that's how Johnny Bristol came, to be my dad. Because
your dad was a performer.
He was one of the writers and producers at Motown. And my mom was just this, young niece of Barry, the owner of the company, running around. And, things happen. And Gwen Gordy Fuqua was Gwen Gordy, Barry's older sister, married Harvey Fuqua of the Moonglows, who was, branched off and was at Tri-Fi Record under Anna Records. And let's see, who else? We've got so many aunts. My Aunt Esther was with a politician, Mr. Edwards in Detroit. So when you're very Motown was a very powerful institution in Detroit. So the Gordy family was like the first family of Detroit. Is how and I was just this little baby. I didn't know, but these are diva women, really. My aunts were divas, and they were very strong, and they were hardworking women, and they were business-minded.
And beautiful.
Very
just
glamorous.
Really stylish and beautiful. Do we have another one of those pictures, maybe even
very stylish, very glamorous, very poised, regal. And that's what I had around me growing up, and I just love that.
Do you have a favorite artist of all
Stevie Wonder.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. His music just moves me fully all the way. It's just amazing. He's such a talent. I love the melodies of his music. Love the way he delivers it. It's just so good. So he's my favorite solo artist. I like many, but that's always just been the one that just everything he does, I love.
How do you, music has changed so much since then. The entire evolution of music.
Yeah.
What do you think about it now versus what it was?
Well, that back in the day, we're talking Motown started in the 50s, late 50s, and 60s, 70s. It was very big, and that was real music. The writers
soulful
wrote
music.
stories. There were a lot of lyrics in a song back then, and real musicians still appreciate that. I have nothing against the rap music that came in and the lyrics that you can write a song in a day with the same word over and over and over. If it's a hit, if it has a good beat, great. But people still want to hear those stories because that's what I think you take on with you through your whole lifetime. You can relate to those and apply to your
memory.
life.
There's all of a sudden a memory that comes up. You're like, whoa.
You can't connect to something that just has 5 words through the whole song. You can enjoy it for the moment, but it's not something that you're going to be able to apply and relate, I don't think, into your life. So I respect it. My dad wrote so many hit songs. Someday We'll Be Together for the Supremes, which he initially wrote it for himself.
Really?
Johnny and Jackie recorded that initially. Yeah.
Wow. I remember getting that on a little 45.
Yeah.
I do. I remember that on a little teeny record player.
That's an old tune.
And my sister got, a little 45.
And that's his voice on it.
Oh, really?
He said, say it again. Someday. Yeah,
go ahead, sing it. Come on.
I did not want to go there.
Oh, just a little
bit?
But
no, that's him.
Wow.
That's him. And then Junior Walker and the All-Stars, What Does It Take to Win Your Love? Kenny G did a great remake many years ago. It was a big hit. And he sang the original for Junior Walker, and he harmonized on the song. So before, Puffy and all these artists today started, getting on the songs, and you have DJ Khaled, all these guys doing great work. Back then in the 60s, the producers and writers were back there doing the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just all recycled, but I think it's a much easier. They're sampling music today, so it's easier to come up with a song. Bruno Mars. I love Bruno Mars.
Love Bruno.
Love Bruno Mars.
Bruno. He sets a mood.
Oh my God.
He really does.
He's an entertainer. He writes good music,
He
samples a lot of stuff.
Yes,
he takes
he
that
does.
old sound, and and you can't pinpoint sometimes, what it is, but you can tell he's got that flavor of the old music.
He studied Michael Jackson a lot. You probably know that.
God.
Did you see the piece? I think they did it. It was 60 Minutes. They did a piece on him, and they went back to where he's from.
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
As a little boy.
Yeah, as a little kid, and he was studying Michael Jackson. That stuff, that talent just doesn't come out of nowhere.
It doesn't.
Like we said earlier,
Yeah.
it's from when you're really little. You're
It is.
studying this stuff. And if you just keep it going and you keep asking why, eventually maybe you'll get somewhere with
That's
it, right?
right,
It's
that's
like you just
right.
don't give up.
Don't stop.
You just, as
Keep
my
going.
mother would call me, a pest. I'm like, I'm not a pest.
Yeah.
You just got to keep
You
going
got to
if
keep
you've
going.
got that kind of drive.
And that's why I got back into doing television.
Yeah.
Because I knew I always wanted to be a dancer, and I wanted about 18, 19, I wanted to be on television hosting. So, it kind of went full circle. I got away from the music. I got into real estate, did very, very well. A lot of my clients, of course, are entertainment people.
I know. I was reading
I mixed
It's
that.
like, really? You've
why
sold
not?
houses to almost everyone. I mean,
Why
come on.
not? Those are the people I know. They were
Well,
my
they
friends,
trust you.
family.
That's another thing I was going to say. Sometimes when you see someone's name, you know the family they're from, and you'll trust them. You'll go, all right, they get it. that makes sense.
I can understand the needs of high-profile
Definitely.
clients that need real estate. I know what they want. I know how they need to be taken care of. And it just was natural. A lot of athletes, I was married to an athlete, so I get it. So he used to practice with Magic Johnson and Byron Scott and all these guys. So I would
had
see
Byron
them all
on the
time.
show. I loved him.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
When he
he's a
had
friend.
his new book that he wrote, that was a terrific show. He was great. I love Byron
they're great
Scott. Good
guys.
guy.
So I used to, when I was married to my husband, they They were just, that was a whole nother life for me, though, because I grew up in music, entertainment, and actors and things, but I then got to be very close to athletics.
It's the same kind of drive,
It's
though.
the same. That's why I didn't want to marry him, because I was like, oh, no, entertainment, get away.
But it is the same drive,
I know
right?
entertainers get away, but, you know, things happen. You know, people steal your heart.
So it just happened. What do they say? The heart wants what
the heart wants what it wants. But I thought he was a different one.
Give it up.
You know, everybody's not bad in entertainment. There's a lot of good people out there.
Tell me about the No, absolutely. Actually, the people I know in entertainment are pretty good. They're very the ones I know.
Yeah.
They're humble. They're grateful. They're like, gosh,
Right.
the fact that I even made it here is a miracle.
Well,
you know.
you're right. It comes again how you were raised.
Yeah,
If you have
think
great
so.
foundation, great values, you can be very, very successful, but remember where you come from. It's the people, and I watch careers change all the time. I watch people walk in the door and audition for my mom or at Motown, and we'd be in the studio, and I'd say, it's like the group DeBarge. My mom worked with DeBarge, and she started their biggest album. She executive produced that. And so I would just sit there and go, okay, you guys are about to be really big. You're going to blow up. I've watched it happen. Just stay good. Don't be, turn into a bad person, because I'm young, And they're like, no, we're just excited. And sure enough, things happen. Not that they turn to bad people. It's just your head can explode a bit.
Swells.
You can and it's hard. If every time someone says, you're gorgeous, Deborah, oh my God, your hair's amazing. You just are fantastic. And you hear it every day, all day, everywhere you go.
I wouldn't mind hearing that every day. So if anyone out there wants
just
to
bring it on. Bring it on. Yeah, we'll
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I can handle it.
But you just have to know how to just remember the base of that,
No,
Don't
I know,
let
I'm being
it.
silly.
But no, not you. But I mean, people out there, and I've watched it. It's easy to. I studied how that happens, because I would go, how did that happen? I told them, because I'm a teenager, but I told them.
Can't believe in your own,
Yeah, but you got to stay yourself. So I know there are definitely people in the industry that remember that. They're really good people. I think Puffy's very giving as a person, and he's like the wealthiest person out there, and he gives to a lot of causes, and he helps people, and he's still, I think, the same person.
Tell me about what you're working on, the foundation that you're working on.
Yeah, we have my mother, Iris Gordy, and I started in 2008. We started our first Friends of Fuller Gordy Strike Fest. So we co-founded.
Bowling.
Yes, we co-founded Friends of Fuller Gordy,
You're
an
on.
organization, and my grandfather is Fuller Gordy. He's the oldest I was talking about of the
Again,
children.
that's Barry's older brother. I've got the whole family down.
You got it.
Just so you know, I've got them
you're
all.
family now.
I am family
you
now.
got it now.
Oh, good. Can I be a backup singer,
So,
please? It's
yeah, we
I'll be a dancer. That I can do.
I'm always up for dancing.
Yeah,
Once a
no,
dancer,
we
always a
should
dancer.
go dancing.
But yeah, so we do it in his honor to remember him. He's gone, but he had a great legacy of giving. At Motown, he would bring homeless people off the street to the corporate floor of Motown Records and have a sit down with them and get their life story and want to know, what can I do to help you and make a difference?
That's me. That's the kind of thing that I do.
Wonderful.
And my husband's like, Deborah, what are you doing? And I'm like, we're very opposite in that way.
That's great.
Yeah, but
You gotta. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs a hand.
Everybody does need a hand, and I always told my kids when they were little, I said, when people are living on the streets, when they were 2 and 3, and you said, what did you want to do when you grow up? They didn't say, I can't wait to be homeless and sit
Right.
here on a corner with a cup in my
Absolutely.
hand.
Absolutely.
And remember that something happened along the way. You got to have some compassion.
That's
So,
right. You do.
I don't necessarily know if I can always help, but at least if there's compassion, there's someone who can help,
So Fuller Gordy was the first black man in Detroit, Michigan, to be inducted into the Professional Bowling Association. So
I love
it's
that.
Black History Month, so there's a fact. And I'm proud of that. I didn't know it as a kid, but as I got older, I learned it. And so my mother wanted to do something to carry on his legacy. And we were at this bowling alley one day, and we looked at, they had parties, and she said, how about we do a bowling party?
That is so fun.
I said,
Do you
Mom,
keep
that
up
is perfect.
Do you keep it those little strike lane things, because I'm actually a terrible bowler. Terrible. My ball will go into the next alley. So we have to keep those.
That's strong.
That's bad. We have to keep those little lanes,
The gutter guards.
the gutter
Did
guards.
you use gutter guards?
I
Okay.
have to use gutter guards, or I'm terrible.
Well, we do bowling.
But I love bowling.
But we do a concert because we're music people. So we have a concert. We build a stage over the lanes.
Wow.
I
Where do
know,
you do
pretty
this?
intense. At Corbin Bowl. Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
were at
fun.
Universal for 8 years, and then we moved to Corbin Bowl the last 2 years. And we have about 250 people that come out. A lot of people are from Motown people are there, entertainment industry people from all aspects, and just any and everybody that's a fan that wants to come and just kind of mingle. And we just have a good time together.
And before I let you go, what are you raising money for?
We raise money for a different charity every year. So we love that we can expose and highlight and celebrate the remarkable charities that are kind of under the radar. You know, you can always give to the biggest charities. We hear about them all the time. They got big money,
There's
millions
lots
of dollars.
of them, and a lot of people I know have foundations, and it's in fact, my next guest has a foundation that we're going to be talking about.
Okay, so it's those that I'm talking about that they're doing great work, but they're smaller. They need help and support, and so we like to pick those out, and we give back and we raise money through our corporate sponsors and the event that we throw, and we acknowledge them with a plaque and a check, and we then continue to support them after that. You know, we did My Friend's House LA last year, speaking of homeless organization on Skid Row, and we've been down to feed the homeless with them. We raised a lot of money for them. I've been sending clothing to them through other people. I mean, they're on my radar now.
There's always something to do.
Yeah, so everybody we've honored over the past 10 years, we've had 10 events, we've had 12 honorees. We continue to support them if they're in need and they reach out to us. Yeah, so we enjoy that. And so this November 7th, will be our 11th annual Friends of Fuller Gordy Strike Fest.
I look forward to that. I
Very good
really
event.
do.
Yeah, we just had a big appreciation day for our volunteers. Thank you to all of our volunteers again. Without them, we can't make it happen. So we did a big party and we bowled. We had a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. If you
Yeah.
put those little
You
guard
gotta
lanes
come.
up
You
for,
gotta
I
be
will.
there,
I will.
yeah.
I would enjoy that very, very
Yeah,
much. Raise
yeah.
money for a terrific cause of your choosing.
Yeah, we're in the voting process. So if you have a charity out there and you're watching, submit it to us. Go to my website, KarlaGordyBristol.com.
KarlaGordyBristol.com. And everyone else can also find you.
I'm not trying to end
Beverly
your show,
Hills
but I
View.
just...
No, I need to actually. My next
Beverly
guest,
Hills
but
View.
Beverly Hills View
Yeah.
on Beverly Hills Television. How do people find Beverly Hills Television?
Well, I do have links up on my website.
Okay.
So you can go to KarlaGordyBristol.com and you'll see the links. But Beverly Hills Television and my name, you can also pull up. They have
and
Vimeo
also
links.
anywhere else with all the different award shows that we have.
Yeah.
You know, you're bound to pop up on somebody's
I MC
red
a lot.
carpet.
I MC
You do a
more. I
lot
don't
of
do as much
MCing.
red carpet. Yeah, I really pull away from the red carpet hosting. I'm a television host and a producer. Produce a documentary, and I produce pieces for events, and I do MCing. So I'm always available
Busy.
to MC award shows and events and beauty pageants and all these great things out there. Music festivals I just recently did. So
Oh, wow.
I'm the lady with the microphone too, and it's a lot
It's
of fun out there,
right?
isn't
You
it?
just on any given day, you never quite know who you're going to meet
Yeah.
and what you're going to do. I don't know if I would want it any other way.
We're
but
conversationalists.
I've so enjoyed
And I
having you
love it,
on. Thank you
yeah.
for coming in.
I appreciate you
I
having
really
me
have
and wanting to
enjoyed it.
highlight, my life. If everybody, feels they have a story to tell, they should tell it. There's something out there, and I'm
and there's somebody to tell it, right?
there's someone to tell it. Yeah. I mean, everybody has a story, and they have different aspects of that story to tell, different experiences. I feel like a lucky woman to have had the experiences I did growing up in the family I did on both ends. My mother and my father.
Your mother was brilliant.
Both
so, yeah.
successful, in entertainment. I mean, it just, and then I've aunts and uncles. I mean, it's just, you don't think about it till you're much older, and you go, I guess that is unique and different. You think it's just normal.
Yeah,
So I
but
respect it and I appreciate it.
Layer by layer, it's what's made you who you
Yeah,
are. So
and I just herald what they did, and I want to carry on the legacy. I'm carrying on my dad's legacy through, being one of the heirs to his music catalog with my siblings and all those great songs. So we want to see it in
that's
film.
something, being
Yeah.
an heir to the music catalog. Okay.
So
That's
it's
a big responsibility.
It's in film and television. I get the royalties, and I want to see it continue. So I last year Olympics, 25 Miles by Edwin Starr was playing for the Olympics on the commercial. Everybody out there who watched the Olympics heard that over and over and over. That's one of the songs.
Right,
we
and that's something that's in
one
the,
of our
yeah.
songs. Yeah. So I want to see it more in television and in film, more of the music. So hit me up.
Thanks, everybody. This was really terrific. So do you want to wait after our next segment, and maybe we can go into the studio if you have a little bit of time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Be happy to do it.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It was really lovely to have you here. And we'll be back shortly with our next guest, Stacey Valner from Phase One. Just hang on.